Good evening, as promised. Here we are this evening. Good evening. So, as promised, let's just check my screen to see. We are focusing on unilateral training today. Unilateral training is brilliant. Brilliant for many reasons. Unilateral training, yes, it's brilliant for many reasons. I use it a lot in my personal training because it is excellent for, well, let me just explain what it is. So you're working one side of the body first. You're working one side. So if I'm doing leg exercise, a deadlift, I'm going to work one side of the body first instead of doing bilateral training, which is both feet planted on the floor. So that's what unilateral training is. So if I'm going to work on a lunge, this would be a normal lunge. We would do then lifting one leg up, and we would do unilateral training with that. And so I love unilateral training because it shows up any weaknesses, any imbalances that may be going on in somebody's body. It is excellent. And why I'm doing this training today specifically is because it's World Osteoporosis Day. And so we're looking at how we can help prevent falls as we age, prevent osteoporosis, build bone density, improve bone density, and also improve the muscular strength. So you will, if you've ever done any yoga, you'll see different parts of the body that feel out of sorts, out of shape when you're doing a certain turn as opposed to the other side. And it's not any different, obviously, when you're doing strength training. So when you are doing strength training and you are doing both sides, there's my doggy going off on one there. When you're working both sides, say for example a lat pull down, then you are going to be maybe using one side more than the other for that exercise. So it's excellent to improve balance and recruits deep stabilizer of the hip and core if it's a leg exercise. So improve balance, okay, and recruits more stabilizing muscles, whichever exercise you're doing. So that's why this is specifically good. It's also great for rehab, injury prevention, correcting, as I say, any injuries that you have, because if somebody's had a broken leg, then or any ankle injury or maybe some hip injury, then you're going to be kind of favouring the strong side, and vice versa actually, because you know you can sometimes work so hard when you've got an injury of getting that back to normal that you actually then have forgotten about this strong side. And I've seen it many times that you've got the injured side so bang on, but the other side is a little bit weak. So it's all about balancing up the body. You're also creating, a lot of people when I do unilateral work, I'll say like, you're going to work your glute on this side, for example, and they'll say, but this leg's killing me. And that's again because cross education of the muscles of the stability area is indirectly stimulated. So neural pathways are used for primary movements, but they'll also stimulate on the other side. So it's really good for that. Great for the core because again it's recruiting more stabilizing muscles in the core than what you would do when you're doing, say for example, again a deadlift with bilateral training. So that's why I favour it. I do a lot of it. I don't do it every single time that I go out or I train a client, but I certainly throw in unilateral training, a whole session in probably about once every 6 weeks, and I do a lot of unilateral movements as we go, at least 2 or 3 anytime that I see someone in session. So, but then I like to give a big challenge, as I have today, on somebody and check out everything. And actually, it's really, it works you harder. Sometimes you can't use the same weights as you would, obviously, but for sure, you know, it's great to do it. And sometimes I do a complete 6-week program myself, so I can, you know, you see that progression going there all the time as well. So that's why I like to favour unilateral training. So just to give you an idea of some unilateral training movements that are really good. And again, going back to anything, balance training. We're talking osteoporosis today because that's what we the day that it is, World Osteoporosis. But you know, balance we need at any age. And it's never too early to start that balance. It's great, you know, for people who are skiers, who like water skiing, going skiing holidays. Balance is one of the key things that you need. So it's brilliant for that. So what I'm going to do is, let's go, if I grab my weights and do an ordinary deadlift. So here is a normal deadlift. We're going to go all the way down and lift. And you can maybe try it, even if you haven't got weights with you, just have a little go. 2. So that would be your normal bilateral training. So to turn it into the other. Now you may need to go without weights the first time. And you really are aware of your core when you are unilateral training. So you know when you're going to do this deadlift, you've got to roll the shoulders back. Point the leg first, focus in front, and you're going to go down in one plane and come back up. So that it is like, imagine you are a surfboard. Your whole body's like a surfboard, so you're not bending in the middle. Use that focus. You've got to go in focus and pinpoint something in front of you to do your balance work. And see, you try to combine 2 things as one, talking and the other. So let's go on the other leg. So as well, you always, it is good to have a mirror. So facing that way, I've got more of a mirror to see. You can slide that foot back, and again, you lengthen forward, down, and lift. And you will have a weaker side and a stronger side on that. And go. And it is really intense in the leg, much more intense than bilateral training. Down and lift. So let's take a lunge, side back. Well, you are kind of getting some bilateral training in this, but to intensify that more, we like to lift one leg off the ground. So get your chair and take one leg off the ground. So all this is focusing with balance and strength work. So you're going 1 foot on and get your range of movement, because sometimes I see that the range of movement isn't as good when you're trying to do unilateral training. So focus on less reps, okay, to get that position right. Less reps, okay, and more depth. Keep the depth into your moves. Other ones, okay, simple ones that you do. If you're not to strength train and you are just practicing on doing some without weights, then you could do a star position, drawing shoulders off the back of the body out to the side and tipping side, side, and lift, side, and lift. Good. Okay, so you see, and then I'd add some weights as well out to the side to do a star when I've built that up, and out and back, and then you repeat obviously on the other side. Other ones that I like to do our glute raises, which I'll show you on the floor now. Let's just see so yeah, you can also do the side squat. It's a little bit higher than I would use. I would do a much lower one than this actually, so you can get depth. But lifting one leg up, sitting all the way back, putting your bum back, and doing your deep squats, so you're more loaded onto the one supporting leg. You get loads of inner thigh stretch on that. Box steps, so step ups, all the way up and down. Same one, up, down. Side, using the side of the body, lift up. When you're doing this, you've just got to make sure you get high enough and lift and down, lift and down. Okay, standing kickbacks. So standing kickbacks, again, you can use the wall for support, but we're talking balance here. So like to not hold the wall if you can. So you're going to take that back, and then you're going to lift and lower, squeezing through the glutes, supporting leg. You can automatically feel all the recruitment of the abdominal muscles. Just have a go there if you're watching with doing that and see how much different it is to if you're holding on to here, okay? You're taking that balance, the recruitment of the abdominals away. And if you're dynamic, okay, we aren't talking about, by the way, we aren't talking about osteoporosis if you have got a real issue with osteoporosis, if you are in not the early phase. I'm talking about if you're at risk of osteoporosis or you are in a prevention, and certainly not to do single leg stuff without support if your balance is really bad. And always check with your doctor first. Any of these exercises are fine to do for you. So, but if you can easily do all those, then you can then go on to plyometric hops, hop, hop, hop on your balance, and do some hops around and stuff like that are using one leg, single leg stuff. I do a pistol squat, but I'm absolutely rubbish at the pistol squats. So going all the way down, all the way down. If you're like me and not brilliant at that, you can, the really good thing to do is to hold a TRX rope and hold that as you go down. You can get your depth then as you go down with that. Single leg deadlift, stars. So the last one that I do, well, there's quite a few still really, but we can show you the single leg hip thrust, which I see a lot of people doing double leg and putting loads of weight on the hips and thrusting the hips up, like say for example this one. Okay, let's go down. So this would be a normal hip thrust, lift and lower, squeeze, okay, and you take that, I see a lot with lots of weights. Now you have a go next time without the weight, okay, palms up and lift up and down using single leg, which is completely a different ball game on that, and really identifies your weak area. So you go, oh, that wasn't too bad. Then you switch to the other one. You go, oh my God, I can hardly lift it, or vice versa. And I do a lot of these, so I'm not too weak on those. So let's just another one that I do is on all fours. Okay, and you can do some leg lifts with that, donkey kicks, straight leg lifts, side hip openers. So take that again, donkey kicks, leg lifts and hip openers. And with this one, you're just making sure that both hips the hip bones facing downwards on it. So I'm out, hips, because what I do see is the hip rotation a lot. And there's a place for that, but not in this one that I'm doing at the moment, okay? There is a place for a hip rotation one, and it's done on purpose as well, but not on that one where your hips face down. All right, so hope that was a short, helpful workshop for you on unilateral training and the benefits. Have a go and drop me something in the comments to let me know you're going to have a go, what you thought of that. Yeah, and we'll get it all on video for you so that you can do on the workout lounge at gailabby.com. So have a great night. To be back tomorrow with another workshop, just 15-minute short workshops that I think are going to help a lot of people, because when they're in the gym I see so many mistakes and it does upset me. It really does. So have a great evening. Thanks very much for joining in. Bye, 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 bye.